Roll call vote, please.
Jim Altoff.
Here.
David Villalobos. Present. Lester Caper.
Present.
Norm Stick.
Present.
I am Chief Fisher. Chief Wilkening.
Here.
Deputy Chief Brittingham is absent. Deputy Chief Mager.
Here.
Council Liaison Miller is absent. Council Liaison Recupero.
Here.
Attorney Austin.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Calling for a public comment. Once, twice, 3 times. Thank you. Approval of the minutes Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Jim Altoff.
Yes.
David Villalobos.
Yes.
Lester Caper.
Yes.
Norm Stick.
Yes. Thank you. VIPS report.
Hello, everyone. In front of you there, you have the June 2023 hours for the VIPS unit. Everybody with the exception of Van Diver made their hours. He was excused due to work-related time constraints. And we had 3 call-out and details, two details, a bike run and the Canines for Heroes, and 1 agency assist call-out.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And Summerfest went pretty well. Thanks, Chief.
Very expensive.
Yeah, but Summerfest went pretty good.
Great.
I'm joking.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Okay, Police Department, number 3, communications.
The only communications I have for the board, I received the email from Mary Jo Dixon in reference to the new special events permit. I tried to answer some of her questions through the email. The board, or the council has tabled it for now. I think they're going to bring it up again next month, that hopefully some of the questions that are being asked will be answered to them. But they were more specific. So that's really the only thing that I had on communication.
Okay, thank you. Number 4, finances.
You can see our purchase orders, they were quite a bit last month. I mean, everything's pretty standard stuff. I guess some neat things, we did go ahead and, through one of our non-reverting, we bought a bunch of items for the kids to hand out at Summerfest this year, including little rubber duckies that were police officers. And it was a huge hit at the cardboard boat race. We went through all of them. We also got some red, white, and blue wristbands that we handed out to little kids as we were walking around the Summerfest. So they enjoyed that. So
I think that's a good idea.
I have a question.
yes, sir.
I don't know where this is located. Druman Automotive?
Van Drunen on Lowerman.
Okay.
Or it's Verdine, yeah, but it's on Lowerman and 139.
One of the old gas stations?
Yeah,
My old
what
place.
was Larry's old mechanic? Gary.
What was this, 139?
Gary, didn't he own that?
Johnny, or Freddie Evans owned it.
Freddie Evans' old place?
Okay.
That was actually my old place before Freddie had it.
Okay.
And it was the original ambulance, and,
Yeah, he's been there for a while. We I don't know if you know this, but, Mr. Nagy's retiring, closing up the doors and sold his business, so. Tomorrow's his last day. So we had to find some of the local businesses, and, I had a good conversation with Mr. Nagy about his recommendations. He's been working on our cars for a long time, so, we tried Mr. Verdine. He's, did I say that name right? Verdine? Verdine, I think it is, yeah. I think he's a former Ford mechanic anyway, so he's very, very well educated. He's actually got 2 of our cars right now, so.
but it's kind of good to keep it local.
Yeah, that's what our goal was, to keep it local.
I just didn't know where it was at.
Yeah, 139th and Lowerman.
Thank you.
Okay, number 5, staffing.
On the staffing, I have two items for you. First off, update, so, Nick has finished with his FTO process. He's on his own. Field training, that's the officer we hired from Maryville. And Sabrina, our newest female officer, she took the physical agility test for the academy on Monday and passed with flying colors. actually beat the exit standards, so she's been working really hard, so she starts the academy on Monday.
I would've had to bet money on that one.
And 56 recruits, 56 recruits, the biggest class this academy's ever held.
Wow.
So,
Can I go back to finances real quick?
Yes, sir.
Just one thing that just jumped out at me.
Yes, sir?
$5,000 for utility dog kennel?
Yeah, so we're getting that, money back, so,
Okay, that's what I
we got 2,500 of it back so far, in donations. Our canine was having a problem with the dog in the house, he's used to being outside, and so we did some looking around and found an outdoor kennel. It's a large kennel, I can show you pictures of it, and we got the guy to come down on the price, and they delivered it, built, so the dog can remain outside. It's got indoor, outdoor, for him, and he doesn't have to be in the house, which most police work dogs are outdoor dogs anyway, so.
Okay, I just remember you saying that everything was being donated for,
This was
canine.
unexpected.
Okay,
So we
so
took
that-
out a non-reverting, and I got a donation for 2,500 already for it, and I'm hoping that I get another one. I gave the letter out today, so we'll find out. So we're gonna get most of it back, but
Okay, so this is an unanticipated expenditure for the animal?
100% unanticipated.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And it was something he needed right away, so rather than try to get the money first, I'm like, well, we have it in this account, let's just buy it and get it for you so you have it, and then we'll try to build that back up.
Okay, thank you.
Does it, David?
Yes.
Okay, and then my other staffing, so we did interviews for the crossing guard. As you know, our current crossing guard, at MacArthur, went back to Texas. Her husband got a change of venue. She did really good, so we interviewed 2 part-timers. As you know, this is only 30 hours a week, 2 hours a day, for the MacArthur location. And it's our recommendation that we hire the both of them. I have them both here now, David Burns and Amy Lang. David, will start off for us at the location, and Amy would be, a backup for us if something goes wrong that David can't make it. But I've also been in contact with Hanover side, and they're looking for potential crossing guard the first of the year as well, so we may have to expand our crossing guards as well.
That was a well-kept secret for a long time,
What's that?
that the Crown Point did the crossing guards.
It worked out good for a while until the former chief went over there and worked for the
Exactly.
schools.
Yeah.
And so,
Thank you for.
but I would request that you guys give me a favorable recommendation to give them a conditional offer of employment. If you'd like to meet either one of them, Dave and, Amy?
So would you repeat their names once?
David, would you stand up for me? Amy, would you stand up? This is David and Amy. They're both looking for just some part-time work to do the crossing guard. Our VIPS coordinator will, show them how to do it. You know, it's only 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon, so.
And please repeat their names for the recording.
It's on the thing, David Burns and Amy
Okay,
Lang.
all right, I'm sorry. A motion to approve, David Burns and, Amy Lang.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
James Altoff?
Yes.
David Villalobos?
Yes.
Lester Caper?
Yes.
Norm Stick?
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help.
And that was seconded by Dave, correct?
Correct.
Okay, 6, training report.
Got 2 things. First off, we had Range Week last week, with the new shields. I brought it in a couple months ago. You guys had a chance to see them. So we got them all in. One of our SWAT operators, Sergeant Miller, who is a shield man for the SWAT team and instructor in physical tactics, did a whole week class with us with the use of the shield and how to operate it properly with use of the firearm. It was phenomenal training. Each officer got about 4 hours of firearms training, doing 2 hours with the shield and then 2 hours of some other drills that were designed, so that went really good. We're going to formally give a thank you at the August 1st council meeting to the people that donated for the shields. They'll be coming in, so if any of you 4 are available at the August 1st council meeting to come in, that would be appreciated. The Lessable policy updates, we have completed that. All the training was completed. I have given the town attorney, as requested, an executive summary of what was completed for all 3 of those policies that Mr. Villalobos had recommended. and that the attorney Austin had agreed upon. So everybody's had those policies, gone through them line by line, and signed off on the training, and we have all of it documented.
Good.
I heard from several of your people that the range training was awesome.
It was amazing, yes. It was really good. It was nice. It's you know, when you get new people out there, you get a refreshness, a new something, you know, so.
So, this year, when you were shooting, do we have to pay for the neighbor's window, or were you all right this time?
I'll go to the range with you if you want to see how well I shoot.
Just couldn't resist it, thank you.
Lieutenant Larry, he can attest for me. He's out there with us quite frequently.
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. Did we do 7?
No, sir.
Equipment.
The only equipment that I have is, so last month we had the report from Board Member Altoff as well as Ms. Dixon about the lights. I had an opportunity, probably the right time of day, 2 of our new Durangos. We were at Lieutenant Prater's Celebration of Life, setting up for it, and I had him turn on the lights with the sun beaming right in the back window, and I recognized the problem that you guys see. I just never saw it when it's dark outside. So we have invested new lights in the rear of the brand new cars that are currently getting outfitted. Only had a 2-week time frame on them. It is over what our budget's going to be, so I have to find it in my budget, but with the complaints that we received, it was something that was necessary for officer safety purposes. So the clerk's office, when I brought it to her, she was understanding, and she said we'll try to do what we can to find it. And then once those are completed, we're going to go to those Durangos that we've previously had and send them up one at a time and get the rear deck lights corrected and outfitted correctly so they're brighter on the backside.
So you'll be able to move, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I did,
They'll be exterior instead of interior, so the window tint won't affect them anymore.
I did, after our Lexipol meeting, when we talked about that, Crown Point has cars, that's the ones with their fancy paint, they have those exterior, like,
Yeah.
they show, it happened to be that he pulled somebody over like
Yep.
3 blocks in front of me, so I paid attention, and
Yeah.
it was daytime, and they catch you, they
Yep.
do a very good job.
I told our upfitter what the complaints were, and then that I had actually looked at them, and I said I could see exactly what they're talking about, especially with us being on 41. He recognized it. I told him it's not any tint that we're putting on it, it's the factory tint that's causing it. And so he started researching it, found 2 exterior lights that to put on that. Well, I take it back. One was interior, and I wanted to go exterior on it. So it'll have 6 different LEDs on the top of the rear of the squad car. Not LEDs. They don't use LEDs anymore. What's the other one called? No, LEDs, right? They got rid of strobes, right? So 6 LEDs across the top. It'll be plenty bright, I promise.
Yeah, I witnessed, they're good.
Yep.
Okay,
And how long do you think before that entire retrofit is gonna be completed?
It depends on money.
How much are they?
$1,450 a piece.
A car?
Yep.
14 what?
No, that's the price of the light bar. That's not the price of installation.
Was it 14 what?
$1,450 per light bar.
so as far as Jennifer, kinda,
I'll probably have to find it within my budget somewhere,
yeah, that's
which
kind of
gets difficult, but
optimum, you know?
we'll do the best we can, and if we gotta, we'll do the best we can, that's all I can tell you.
How many more cars would you say? Are these a Durango?
5 or 6, yeah. No, probably 8 more.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Number 8, monthly activity.
So you got a copy of our monthly activity report. As you can see, we averaging 41 and a half calls per day, 1,333 calls for the month, total is 7,467 for the year, 7,467. We had a total of 142 state violation traffic stops, 540 warnings, 41 arrests with 63 charges, 38 were misdemeanor, 21 felonies, and 4 warrants, for a total of 180 arrests or charges for the month, and a total of 291 for the year. You can see our town ordinance work. We had a total of, let me find the total here, sorry. total of 89, total warnings for the month, 350 for the year. And then we had a total of 43 citations issued and 308 for the year ordinance. You can see our traffic stop analysis are maintaining that 500 to 600 range. With the exception of May, and like I told you in May, we had quite a bit of vacation time, especially our young patrol officers, we had some vacation. But we're way up on traffic stops. By next month, we'll have more traffic stops than this year compared to all of last year. Same with the citations and warnings. They're as well going up. And as you can see, we're on a steady increase in criminal law incidents.
How tall are the weeds supposed to be?
9 inches.
9 inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
By ordinance you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
For your report?
What is a law incident analysis?
So actual law calls that, because we also we'll respond with the ambulance service, for a fire call or ambulance call. That's not a law. A law call would be some kind of criminal where we're taking some kind of action or doing some kind of report.
Oh, so the other ones were calls for service, this is specifically for law?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
That all been done?
Yes.
Okay. Number 9, Lexipol policy updates.
All right, so we had an opportunity to meet with our subcommittee for 5 different policy updates. Are you ready for me to go through those?
Sure.
We had policy update on 313, which is for child abuse. This policy is updated due to legislative action and Indiana Senate Bill 345, effective July 1st. All of these will be effective July 1st, 2023. It amended the law by allowing personnel to notify either Department of Child Services or a licensed child placing agency after taking custody of a surrendered infant, and that would be a child under the age of 30 days. Basically, this is the safe haven law that was inputted into our policy manual. Policy number 407, involuntary detentions. This policy was also updated due to Indiana House Bill 1006, amended law relating to involuntary detentions, including an immediate and emergency detentions. In the definition, citations have been updated. In the authority, content has been updated to reflect the new law. The citations were also updated, and gender pronouns have been removed. Involuntary evaluations, the citation was updated, terminology was updated for clarity, and again, gender pronouns were removed. In the documentation, the citation was updated and terminology was updated for clarity. In considerations and responsibilities and transfers to appropriate facility, terminology was also updated for clarity. In the school resource officer, which is policy number 427, this policy was updated due to House Bill 1492. Changes was release restrictions. So this had to do with content has been added to address school safety plans. They want the SROs to be included in the school safety plans, and it also restricted them from being released to the public. So this new law, the school safety plans that are developed by the SRO and the school safety officer are not eligible to be released to the public, so that you can't get them through the Freedom of Information Act. Policy number, custody.
701.
Oh, sorry, I had my pages backwards. Sexual assault for policy 701. This policy is updated due to legislative action related to House Bill or Senate Bill 81, specifically Indiana Code or Citation 5219 and number 14. What this did was required specific training for officers that are taking reports related to sexual assaults on adults. It's brand new. I reached out to the academy because the training board down south had to create an actual training for this, and we have not heard anything back yet. So we have 1 year to complete it for those that will be utilizing it. We will send our detectives, those who do investigations first, but my goal would be to have the entire department trained in this, so that, anybody that takes the initial call will be trained in that, requirement. Asset forfeitures, which is, policy 702. This policy is, updated just with some, citation updates for state and criminal laws have been removed, from the definition, of the property subject to forfeit. Content has been updated for clarity. Items related to cash registered fraud has been removed because it's no longer valid, and some serial commas were removed. Within that policy, property subject to seizure, punctuation was corrected, and in disposition for forfeited property, that level has been changed to best practice from the state. As you remember, when we first developed these policies, it would say, each section would be federal, state, or best practice. Federal and state would be required to be in there, and best practice were up to us to be able to change it to fit the town of Cedar Lake. They changed the disposition for forfeit property to be a requirement now, so now it's required to be in there exactly what the statute says. On policy 903, I think we're at, right? Records and maintenance release. Policy updated to do legislative action, House Bill 1492. In the release restrictions, content has been added to address the school safety plans. I think I just gave that one to you, didn't I? Yep. Yeah, I just gave that one to you, I apologize. And then the last one would be temporary custody of juveniles. This policy was updated because of legislative action, Senate Bill 415. Effective again July 1st, amending law relating to notifications by law enforcement officers to take juveniles into custody for committing delinquent or criminal acts on school property. In the training, content has been updated and the citation has been added regarding training officers on the new notification requirements, from best practice also to state. So this is also required. So in a nutshell, what this is that we are required to notify the parents or ensure that administration notifies the parents when we take a child into custody on school property for a delinquent or criminal act, which we always did anyways. Now it's just statutory. Any questions?
So all of these modifications are substantial portion, aside from general pronouns and commas, this is all to bring our policies in compliance with the new state law.
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
Motion to approve acceptable policy updates for 313, 407, 427, 701, 702, 903, and 1001.
Yes, thank you.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
James Altoff?
Yes.
David Villalobos?
Yes.
Lester Caper?
Yes, sir.
Norm Stick?
Yes.
That was Lester and Dave, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
10A.
This is the Geminis MOU, which you guys approved at the last meeting, so it probably can be removed, but it was taken off the council meeting last month due to many council members not being able to make the meeting because vacations or sickness. So Chris had to limit the number of items because there was not many councilmen. He wasn't sure how many were going to be there, so I think it's going to come on the agenda for next month.
So we'll just table it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, this is a
We've
simple-
already approved it, right?
Yeah, you did last month. I think this was more for an update, so
So we can basically take it
I'm
off?
gonna have it removed.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
And that's it.
Okay, thank you. Fire department, 11 communications.
I have
Wait,
something.
hold it.
You have other here. I had someone text me in regards to the stop signs at 133rd and Morris about, they don't say like four-way stop, and apparently there was some confusion.
133rd and Morris?
Yeah,
Okay.
like, yeah.
Because technically it's a three-way stop. That's a drive. That's not a roadway going into Sunset Harbor.
Well, there's some confusion about people coming in and out or something, that's all I was told, so I don't know what,
Have them call me.
okay.
We can figure it out. The only other thing I will add to that, I don't know if we had some complaints at this, or if it was at a council meeting. I think it was more the council meeting, and, you can correct me on it, but it was related to near Garyville and the amount of traffic we have there. So we've been working closely with the Public Works. We got some new, flashing lights put up over there. Myself and the Director of Operations went out there and tried to lay them out in the best, most advantageous spot to notify traffic of people near the roadway. So I'm hoping, I think they're gonna be up and running in the next week or so. They had to reorder some batteries, and I think one of the lights was cracked that they had to reorder, but there'll be flashing lights on both ends, basically by the town club, coming southbound, and then basically right at Dairyville or right around the curve.
Right at Zips.
Yeah, just after Zips, going for the northbound traffic. So it's hopefully will help slow the traffic down, knowing that there's a lot of people there at Dairyville.
Quite impressive when like, oops, they're up, you know.
Yeah, it's big, ain't it?
It's amazing that
You can tell Tim put it up.
it's.
Well, they're that size anyways, and our goal was to make sure that it was obvious to the driver, right? So that they would see it each and every time. So we walked up and down that road and tried to figure out where the best, most advantageous spot was that would be most obvious to the traffic.
It was amazing where the easement was by Sips.
Yeah, yeah.
That was just like,
Yeah.
easement.
Thank you.
That is, thank you. Okay, Fire Department 11.
Okay, under communications, I received a thank you from Jennifer Slager. I'm only gonna read part of it because she mentioned what her medical issue was in it, and it's not for public knowledge, it's the HIPAA. I'd like to thank you for all the help you gave me on the 30th, 23. I was blank,
We need one of those.
in need of serious help. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and know that everything you do is appreciated by all. This goes to my medics that responded to a call at her house. The only communications I have right now. Purchase orders under finances, you got the three purchase orders. That was processed, one for batteries for one of the trucks. And an adapter for the wall charger for the actual, one of the cars, and then also 8 fire extinguishers for the apparatus as well. The SAFER grant, we have not heard. They're still awarding grants, so we still have not heard if we've received a grant or not. I'm getting discouraged, but it's okay. Number 5, staffing, any officer updates. We've had volunteers come in. The Board of Safety Committee has interviewed a couple, and then, I'm sorry.
12.
I apologize. Volunteer, and part-time, we just interviewed Van Kijken as well, and I have another volunteer named Mitch Fleet that I'm asking for approval tonight to hire as well.
Okay, what we're gonna have to do, let me see, we're gonna have to amend the agenda and put Mitch's name on there.
Okay.
And then, for the Lexipol update policy, we're gonna have to put that on there where we don't have a box for that. So we
Okay.
need to amend agenda.
Can I get a motion to amend the agenda to add? Huh?
It says,
Oh, sorry, I'm doing the roll call vote, I'm sorry.
can we do, David, can we do those in the same motion?
You can.
So we need to add Mitch
Bleak.
Bleak name, it would be by Van Auken.
Mhm.
And then, for number 17, for the Lexipol policy updates, we need a voting block for that. So can I
I need a motion to amend the agenda for the purpose of adding 2 voting boxes, one for the approval of the leak and the other one on Lexipol policies.
second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Norm will do that.
I thought I'd do it.
No, he calls it, you call the names.
Roll call vote.
David Villalobos,
Yes.
Charlie Caper,
Yes.
Norm Stick,
Yes.
Jim Altoff.
Yes.
What if I forget one of their names? Now listen.
And we throw something at you.
I got you, I'm sorry.
Got a rig outside.
Okay, so those are 2.
Yeah, I'm having my goal.
Okay, so-
Myself.
Now that we've amended the agenda, we're going to ask for a motion to bring on what's Van Alken's first name?
Anthony Van Alken.
And bring on Anthony Van Alken as a volunteer, and bring on Mitch Bleck as a volunteer. Can I have a motion for that, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
So moved.
Roll call vote.
James Altough.
Yes.
David Villalobos.
Yes.
Lester Caper.
Yes.
Norman Stick.
Yes.
Okay.
That was better, Todd.
Thank you. I had to do a trial once by myself.
Okay, number 14, please. Training.
And again, I apologize for not having this on the agenda.
All right.
It was an oversight on my part.
We'll get it done.
Okay, training, Todd.
Okay. I'm gonna let Nick go into the training, because we had a, pretty extensive month, and a lot of training done this last few weeks, so I'm gonna let him explain it.
So the report as attached in your packet is actually for June, with breakdowns by session and by hours category. Total of June training hours was 486. As Chief mentioned last week, the week of the 16th, we acquired a firefighter confidence trailer through the state of Indiana that travels throughout the state. I know a lot of you guys checked it out. There's a lot of pictures on Facebook. It's about a 30-foot long trailer, completely enclosed with a fog machine, simulated smoke inside. And within that, there's actually 3 levels in it. On each level, they have gates that you can move within those. You have to go through about a 2-foot by 2-foot area, up ramps, through obstacles, through restricted spaces, stud wall spaces simulated, then also entanglements, simulating a collapsed roof and ropes and wires. Put allowed hours into it, about 314 hours were logged just for that. Very good training, very beneficial. Everyone took something out of it. Another huge resource provided by the state for us. We're evaluating doing it every year, provided it's available. I did schedule that initially back in January, and the first 7 months of the year were filled up, so trying to hope I can get in earlier as soon as they release the schedule for that. So,
Did that cost our department anything?
not a penny.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was some overtime.
Yeah.
Training, yeah.
Okay, well, great.
Well, material-wise, there was no cost. They provided fuel for the generator that ran everything, because there's exhaust system on there too, so you can evacuate the smoke real fast. Run the fog machine, which that probably saved us $200-300 just in that, because it's not cheap, the simulated smoke. Because we have our own fog machine, those things are about $2,000 a piece, but that's built into the trailer, and they provide all that for you. So,
That concludes your report?
for training, yes.
Okay, number 15, equipment.
Equipment repairs, some basic repairs that were done. We had some work done to engine 1213, and we had some work done to engine 1212. The ladder truck blew a seal on a hydraulic line and training on Monday night, and we had that repaired immediately as well.
Is that it for your report on?
Yeah.
Okay, number 16, monthly activity report.
$152 calls for the month. We're at 926 calls at the end of June. So we are up on calls as well at this point in time of the year. As I reported at the council meeting, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursdays is our busiest day. We have 79% of our calls are in the town limits, 18% of them are unincorporated Hanover Township, and 3% are mutual aid. we had 24% of the time we have overlapping calls. Meaning when the first unit goes out the door, another call comes in within the time period of that call being, the first call going on.
That conclude your report?
That's it.
Okay, number 17, Lexipol policy updates.
Okay, we met with the subcommittee as well, and updated our policies, or updated five policies. And again, these were pretty much just updating a few lines here and there. And of course, I don't have them marked, she didn't give me the ones that were marked.
Some of those we was just following guidelines that.
The recruitment and selection process was just a update on the state law. Personal protective equipment was the same, as far as PPE, air packs, and purchasing requirements for personal protective equipment, which would be air packs, bunker gear, helmets, gloves, stuff like that. The advanced health directives, policy 502, was an update in the state law as well. And pre-hospital patient refusal forms that have to be updated every year, that's dictated by the state health department, which in turn, Lexipol pumps out the actual update on that as well. And the safely surrendered baby law, that was updated by the law as well. I think even Chief Fisher was doing that as well, yeah. I did put in for the state of Indiana for a grant, while we're talking about the safety surrender baby law, I forgot to ask, or mention that under grant, for a baby box. So, I understand they've been very, very good with awarding the money to be able to put a baby box in every community in the state, so.
Kind of go over
We're on that list.
for everybody how those actually work.
A baby box is a unit that's built into the wall of the fire station, and if you have a baby and you want to get rid of it, instead of disposing of it in a horrendous way, you can take it to your local fire station. There's a box. You open up the box is heated or air conditioned depending on the time of year, and then when you close the box door, it seals and it sets off the fire alarm pagers over our dispatch center and tells us there's a baby in the box. There is no cameras on it, so the mother, and then it doesn't set the alarm off for, I don't remember, a minute or so the mother has a chance to get away so that she's not videoed in any way, shape, or form, so it's no questions asked. So a lot of times people drop newborns in a dumpster or, do something horrific. This allows them to go to a fire station, and the baby is then turned over to the public, or the county health.
And the whole department responds.
The whole department gets the dispatch and everybody, just for instance, Crown Point, when they put theirs in, the next night they got a baby in it. It was a couple of years ago.
Now, these are one-way boxes. Once you make a deposit, no one else can come behind you and make a withdrawal.
Nobody can take a withdrawal, right, and the baby is in there, and he's open from the inside. The Crown Point story that they told was that everybody heard that alarm and they all went. They're all looking around the corner to see if there's a baby in there, no one's. There was. Healthy baby with a note from the mother stating the condition of the baby and some information about the baby, and, of course, the baby's fine. And we'll probably put it in, not the new station, it'll probably go in the station that we're at now, because it's more centrally located.
So, we're gonna need a motion for it.
Yeah, we just need a motion to approve
Like a motion to approve, the updated Lexipol policies.
I'll make that motion.
I read the numbers.
I think that,
Okay.
Numbers 317, 501, 502, $103 and $1,000. And I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
James Altough?
Yes.
David Villalobos?
Yes.
Lester Caper?
Yes.
Larry Norman Stick.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to 18. Do we have another?
I have a few other, we have had a meeting with the financial folks of the town and our committee as far as the purchase of a new ambulance. We are putting the specs and information together right now to discuss buying another ambulance. So that should be prepared here pretty, excuse me, by the end of next week. We're going to meet with a few manufacturers and discuss options and timelines. But everybody's talking about 36 months for the delivery of a new ambulance.
I thought that was 2 years.
The one I talked to today was 36 months.
He's high.
Yeah,
The other ones are 2 years.
that's the high. Yeah, 24 months to 36 is where we're at now. Also, fire engine, we're in a discussion about a fire engine as well at our department head meeting, or I'm sorry, our budget meeting, to discuss getting another one of those in the pipe, because they are anywhere from 36 to 48 months out now. And we need a new engine yesterday. So,
Okay, is that all for 18?
yeah. And then under other, I also received letters from Chief Mager in reference to accommodations for 2 firefighters. I think, did Norm did bring with?
I do have.
Okay. It would be John Smith and Battalion Chief Chris Kraft for the outstanding work of organizing and setting up the confidence trailer training this last week, and the numerous hours they put in planning and being out in the really bad or really hot weather, and the sacrifices they made from their families for a week to make sure everybody was trained. Chief Mager felt it was above and beyond, so he sent me a letter. I forwarded it to Norm to be read tonight. On behalf of Chief Mager and myself, we presented them with their duty crews, just a appreciation letter, or appreciation certificate.
Okay, I didn't prepare my reading voice, but I'll read it anyway. Fire Chief Todd Wilkening, I'm writing this letter recognizing the outstanding and beneficial work firefighter paramedic John Fahey Smith continues to perform day to day, especially when it relates to training. This week of July 16th, 2023, the department was provided with the Indiana Firefighter Confidence Trailer for a week-long training. This training was extremely important as it has to do with firefighter self-rescue, firefighter confidence, as well as techniques to rescue firefighters. Through 9 straight days, firefighter paramedic Fahey Smith, and the other name goes along with this.
Chris Kraft, yep.
Okay, yeah, so it's for both of them. Displayed instructor professionalism, encouragement, and motivation. Firefighter, paramedic, Fahey Smith, and...
Battalion Chief Chris Kraft.
Thank you, Chris, yes. Showed full support for all the firefighters by utilizing and displaying motivation throughout each evolution. Firefighter Fahey Smith...
Battalion Chief Chris Kraft.
Committed many hours of this time to include his day off to work with firefighters in many different hours of the day. Additionally, there were multiple hours spent planning, preparation, and post-training paperwork and cleanup. After 9 straight days and 314 total hours of training provided to our department, this training was a success and would not have been able to be performed without firefighter Fahey Smith.
Battalion Chief Kraft.
The training provided to our department is continually supported and instructed by firefighter paramedic Fahey Smith
Battalion Chief Chris Kraft.
for the betterment and staff, and provides well-trained firefighters to the community. This is great, and I was over there and witnessed what was going on when they was in their gear and looked inside of it, and it's quite a maze, and, you know, they're totally in the dark, so it kind of, you know, if there's a claustrophobic or something, it flushes them out. I mean, so it looked like a great, you know, not training, what is that you call that?
Confidence training, yeah.
No, evolution.
The idea from it is, or idea of it is there's no pass or fail. You go in there and you see what your weaknesses are and your strengths are. And if you look at the scenario we put you in, it's the most worst case scenario without an actual fire or heat. Getting tangled up in wires and stuff like that, and having to self-rescue yourself out of a building that collapsed, where you're getting caught up in, or you gotta rescue either a victim or your partner. It just really plays with your mind, and it makes you think, so.
I think Nick told me that there's a spot that actually it makes you feel like the floor is caved in or something. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
kind of unique, and it's nice that we was able to, you know, get that,
What's even interesting about it is you even know that you're safe, and it's a safe environment, but it's still very intimidating.
I could, by looking at the inside of it, I could, definitely agree with that. Okay, any others?
Maybe it would be nice if Sandy would prepare a letter that Norm could sign and send it to the state for the use of the trailer.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, are we voting on these commendations, or are we just recognizing that they're?
It was, Nick gave them.
Okay.
Those are in-house, just
Okay.
a letter of appreciation,
So
basically.
they'd be put in their files?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on that? Okay, move on, Mr. Rushton.
19A, I have a resolution drafted and ready. I have comments to a proposed MOU that Chief Fisher presented. I'm prepared to meet with him and/or others of that group to review those matters before I make a recommendation on your actions here in the town council.
Okay.
That's the reconstruction
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
And a different issue as well?
I'm sorry?
Is there another issue besides the reconstruction?
Issue?
Well, you got an MOU for the reconstruction team, that's what you're talking about now.
Right?
Is there any other, item
What
that has
was
to be?
19A, is that?
That's what he was talking about, 19A.
Oh, okay, that's where I got confused when I heard you say 19. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Following the agenda.
That's what you're doing.
Okay, I'm sorry, there's a confusion. Training reimbursement agreement, I need to get with Todd. That's simply a matter of scheduling, and we've had some intervening activities personnel-wise. We will get together. And you'll know why in the executive session after we're done. The emergency operations plan, I still have 500 pages to read. I haven't done it.
It's pretty big, it's pretty big.
So, that's my.
To be honest with you, our goal was to have it out by the first of the year anyway, so.
I appreciate hearing that, because.
That was our goal.
Every month they come here and tell you, I haven't read 500 pages yet, because I haven't read them.
Once you get the first 500, we're gonna give you the next 500. Let us know when you get it done.
By then I'll have done the Mona Lisa.
So, okay, we are okay for, executive session after this meeting, it's been
Well,
brought.
I need you.
So, you wanna meet at the, do you wanna have an executive session after the meeting?
It's scheduled, it's advertised, right?
Yes, it was.
For notice? Yes,
Yes, it was.
please.
Okay.
On pending litigation.
You say yes, no?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, should Mr. Kukio be here or not?
he should.
We should.
Good.
Thank you. Number 20, Town Council's Liaison Report.
I have no report, but I do have I guess a question for Chief Fisher. You mentioned signage earlier. I had a resident on Wheeler Street, north of 141st Avenue, reach out to me. I reached out to the Director of Operations last week. I haven't heard from him yet. So
Okay.
you had mentioned working with him on signage.
Yeah.
They've got a wheelchair-bound child there, and I don't know the whole story, but I can put you in contact with the woman, but
Can you
she
do that?
asked that maybe we could put some signage up somewhere in her vicinity?
Yeah, they'll have to get locates done on the road because they'll have to put in special, holes just for that sign. But we do that for, hearing impaired or, handicapped children, so.
Okay, can I get your contact information after the meeting?
Yeah, just have, if you would have her email me her
Okay.
information and I'll call her.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Nick, do you know if it's a hearing impaired?
I know that the child is in a wheelchair, so I don't know his hearing status.
We have hearing impaired, smoke detectors now.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if you ever, anybody runs across somebody that has, the state of Indiana supplies them to us. We advertised it once before in the past, and we got a couple people that actually came and got them. What the thing does, that you put it on, basically on your headboard, it vibrates, and the lights flash like crazy, so you can feel it vibrating when you're sleeping,
Okay.
okay?
That's good to know.
Yeah.
New building update.
We had a meeting today, everything is on schedule according to the builder. Chief Wilkening asked if we're on schedule for, probably getting into both buildings at the same time, and he said yes. I think he said May. He said his effective date, he said, would be July 4th, right?
Yeah.
He thinks by July 4th next year, we'll be getting in the building, or he'll be ready to release it over, so.
I see they had underground going, started.
Yeah, they started with, right now they're doing the police side with some underground work and some footings. They got the rebar in, and over the next week is, on the police side, we'll be doing some construction stuff.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anything for 22 other? Board members, anything else? Okay, public comment. Public comment once, public comment twice, public comment 3 times. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? So moved. Thank you.
I'll grab your iPad.